Many people fear failure because they mistake it for a final verdict on their worth. The ancient philosophers saw failure differently. They viewed it as instruction disguised as disappointment. Every setback reveals information that success often conceals. The disciplined individual does not become discouraged by temporary defeat. Instead, he studies it carefully, extracting lessons that make future progress possible. Growth requires mistakes, just as strength requires resistance. Those who avoid failure entirely often avoid achievement as well. Courage is not the absence of setbacks, but the willingness to continue despite them. The Stoics understood that life is not a straight path leading uninterrupted toward success. It is filled with obstacles, detours, and uncertainty. Many people begin a worthy pursuit with enthusiasm, only to abandon it when difficulties appear. They interpret resistance as a sign to stop. The wise understand that nearly every valuable goal demands persistence beyond the point where most people quit. Consider how a skilled craftsman develops mastery. His first creations are imperfect, yet each error becomes a teacher. What appears to be failure is often simply experience being accumulated. The same principle applies to life itself. Character is not forged through uninterrupted success. It is forged through confronting weakness, correcting mistakes, and continuing despite imperfection. Many people carry the burden of past failures long after the event has passed. They allow old disappointments to shape their identity. The philosophers warned against this habit. A mistake is an event, not a permanent description of who you are. The past may provide lessons, but it should not become a prison. What matters is not how many times a person falls, but whether he rises with greater understanding. There are moments when effort seems unrewarded and progress appears invisible. In such moments, the disciplined individual remains committed to the process. He understands that meaningful achievements often develop beneath the surface before visible results appear. Just as roots grow unseen before a tree rises above the ground, personal growth often occurs quietly before others can recognize it. The ancient thinkers believed that adversity reveals qualities. Comfort leaves undiscovered. Patience cannot develop without delay. Courage cannot develop without fear. Endurance cannot develop without hardship. Every challenge presents an opportunity to strengthen a virtue. This is why the Stoics did not view obstacles merely as inconveniences. They viewed them as training grounds for the soul. When disappointment arrives, resist the urge to ask why life has become difficult. Instead, ask what quality this difficulty is inviting you to develop. Perhaps it is resilience, humility, patience, or wisdom. Every hardship carries the possibility of transformation. The outcome depends largely upon how it is approached. The strongest individuals are rarely those who have experienced the fewest failures. More often, they are those who have learned not to be defeated by them. They understand that setbacks are temporary, while character endures. Rather than becoming bitter, they become wiser. Rather than becoming fearful, they become stronger. The wise understand this truth. Failure is not the opposite of progress. More often, it is one of its essential components. Those who continue learning, adapting, and moving forward are never truly defeated. As long as the lesson remains, the experience retains value. And as long as the journey continues, growth remains possible. Failure teaches valuable lessons, but wisdom requires that those lessons be applied. Many people recognize their mistakes, yet continue repeating them because reflection never becomes action. The philosophers understood that knowledge alone does not transform character. True growth begins when understanding is translated into behavior. A lesson ignored eventually returns in another form, often accompanied by greater difficulty. The disciplined individual does not merely collect insights. He uses them to guide future decisions. There will be times when progress feels slower than expected. You may look at the distance still remaining and become discouraged by how far there is to go. In such moments, remember that the pace of improvement matters far less than the direction. The ancient thinkers advised focusing on the next step rather than the entire journey. Great accomplishments are rarely achieved in a single effort. They are built through countless small actions performed consistently over time. The temptation to quit often appears strongest just before meaningful progress is made. Many people abandon their efforts because immediate results are absent. They fail to realize that persistence frequently creates opportunities that would never have existed otherwise. The seed does not emerge from the soil the moment it is planted. Growth requires patience. The same is true for character, skill, and achievement. What seems stagnant today may be developing beneath the surface in ways not yet visible. The Stoics believed that every challenge contains two possibilities. One path leads toward frustration, resentment, and self-pity. The other leads toward growth, resilience, and wisdom. The event itself does not determine which path is taken. That choice belongs to the individual. Two people may encounter the same hardship and emerge entirely different because of how they choose to interpret and respond to it. Do not become discouraged by imperfection. Even the wisest philosophers considered themselves students of life. They understood that mastery is not a state that is permanently achieved. It is a practice renewed each day. Some days you will succeed in living according to your principles. Other days you will fall short. Both experiences are part of the process. The goal is not flawless performance, but continual improvement. As you move forward, carry your past lessons with gratitude rather than regret. Every setback survived has contributed to the person you are becoming. Every obstacle overcome has strengthened qualities that comfort could never develop. What once appeared to be a burden may eventually reveal itself as preparation. The disciplined individual trusts that no experience is wasted when it is transformed into wisdom. And with each challenge faced honorably, the foundation of character grows stronger, preparing the mind for whatever lies ahead.